Golf Pick'em Expert Picks, brought to you by FootJoy.
We have the Open on deck, but before we get to Royal St. George's, we have to break down the John Deere Classic. And as always, we're looking at the matchups for the Golf Pick'em game in the NBC Sports Predictor app. You know the drill at this point. 10 head-to-head matchups, pick a tournament winner and a winning score, $1,000 in guaranteed prizes up for grabs each week, a $50,000 jackpot on the line this week for a perfect score. We're going to start with a marquee matchup, Zach Johnson and Steve Stricker. This is basically the race to decide who gets to be the mayor of the Quad Cities. No two players are more closely associated with this event than these two. Zach Johnson, a winner here in 2012 among 7 top 10 finishes. He's the de facto ambassador of the Deere. And then you've got Steve Stricker, still the last person to win 3 straight tour events. He did it from 2009 to 2011 at this event. He's skipping a title defense at the U.S. Senior Open to play this week. And oh, by the way, he finished T5 here as recently as 2017. But I'm going to go with Zach Johnson. I really think that there's a lot more consistency to like about ZJ right now. He is turning things around over the last 6 or 8 months, and he did finish T25 in his most recent start at the Travelers. That's good enough for me. I think he's in for another top 10 showing this week at TPC Deere Run. Only 5 players in the John Deere field ranked inside the top 50 in the world, but 2 of them are squaring off here, and it's Sungjae Im and Siwoo Kim. Both men are from South Korea. Both will be representing South Korea in the upcoming Olympics, and both have withdrawn from next week's Open to focus on the Olympics because winning a medal in Tokyo will exempt them from compulsory military service in their home country. But first things first, we're talking about the John Deere and who's going to have the better week. I'm going to side with Sungjae Im, who's coming in off of a T8 finish at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. That's 3 straight finishes of T35 or better overall for him. He tied for 26th 2 years ago in his John Deere debut. On the other hand, Siwoo Kim has missed the cut in each of his 2 prior starts in the Quad Cities. Overall, I think Sungjae Im is getting closer to win number 2 on the PGA Tour, and I think that he is going to have the better week this week. It's taken 2 years, but Dylan Frittelli finally gets to defend his title at the John Deere Classic this week. Of course, the tournament was canceled last summer because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now the South African returns as the defending champ, and now he's in a matchup in Golf Pick'em against another John Deere winner, Brian Harman, who won this event back in 2015. Frittelli is going back to a place where he had a lot of success 2 summers ago, and he needs to spark a turnaround. 5 missed cuts in his last 6 starts overall, whereas Harman is one of the best players on tour right now. 3 straight top 20 finishes. He finished in a tie for 5th a couple weeks ago at the Travelers, and he has had a lot of success at TPC Deere Run. In addition to that victory, 5 of his 7 starts have gone for T26 or better. For me, this is easy. This is Brian Harman. Don't overthink it. Take the lefty in this matchup and move on to the others. This matchup features 2 players who have already won this year on the PGA Tour. It's Daniel Berger and Kevin Na. Berger won at Pebble Beach. Kevin Na won in January at the Sony. Berger was a late entry into this week's field. He's the highest ranked player in the field, and he's also the betting favorite. A lot of people are expecting him to have a lot of success coming off a T7 finish at the U.S. Open in a place where he finished at a tie for 5th in his tournament debut back in 2017. Kevin Na finished T47 at the Travelers a couple weeks ago. In his most recent start, he has finished T13 or better in 2 of his last 3 appearances in the Quad Cities. But for me, there's a lot more upside with Daniel Berger. I think another win is coming soon. He showed at Torrey Pines that his game is in a really good place. Expect him to show it this week before heading overseas to Royal St. George's for the Open. So those are, again, my thoughts on some of the marquee matchups this week for the Deere. But remember, go into the Golf Pick'em game in the NBC Sports Predictor app, and you need to also have a tournament winner in addition to the 10 head-to-head matchups. So for a tournament winner this week, I'm going to the guy that finished 2nd last time around. That's Russell Henley. He shot a 61 in the final round 2 years ago, almost caught Dylan Frittelli. Wasn't quite enough, but he is really playing well as of late. He was in the mix down the stretch at the U.S. Open, deep into the weekend, played well the following week at the Travelers Championship. I think he gets another win. We know how streaky he can be with the putter. This is a place where you need to make a lot of putts. The scores are going to be really low, as always, at TPC Deere Run, and I expect Russell Henley to end up on top. But remember, go into the Golf Pick'em game in the NBC Sports Predictor app. Make your selections for the 10 head-to-head matchups. Pick a tournament winner and a winning score. $1,000 in guaranteed prizes up for grabs. $50,000 jackpot on the line for a perfect score. We'll see you next week.